Hi, this video I'm calling Back to Front. So in other words, we're going to do lots of back work and lots of front work. So back extensions, abdominal work, back extensions, abdominal work. So it's really just working the back and working the front. So I have a roller and a soft ball because I'm going to try and do some extension work up and over an object like that. So if you don't have a roller or a football or something round like a ball that we use in the classes, then you could always use that rolled up towel technique that we showed you in earlier videos. So we're going to come all the way down to the floor. You can choose which you use, roller, softball, it's entirely up to you. I'm going to demonstrate them both. I'm going to take the roller to about the base of your shoulder blades. And clasp your hands behind the middle skull, elbows into peripheral vision. My feet are flat, squeezing an imaginary ball between my knees. And then we're just going to find, first of all, lovely length of the spine. Then, with a weight in the tail, we start to wrap up and around, not letting the elbows alter their position. Length at the back of the neck, pick the head, neck and chest all the way back up. And again, lengthen. And then slowly from that lengthening, you start to wrap up and around the edge of the roller. Should feel really good. Little bit of length at the back of the neck, pick your head, your neck, your chest up. Now I'm going to do this as well with the ball, just in case you haven't got a roller and you've decided you've got a football kicking around or a softball and you're maybe able to substitute with that. So it's exactly the same, a lengthened position initially, and then we start to wrap up and around. Little bit of length at the back of the neck, and pick your head, your neck, your chest all the way back up. And again, lengthen first, and really feel that lovely control over the low back as we start to shorten the middle upper back, lengthening. And with a little bit of length at the back of the neck, on an exhale preferably, bring it all the way back up to the upright. I'm going to move back to the roller, and from there, let's just try a slightly different leg position. So we'll reach the legs out, glue them together, clasp the hands behind middle skull again, and again, lengthen your spine. Then start to think about extending, shortening that middle upper back. Keep weighted through that tail, a little bit of length at the back of the neck, and bring the head, the neck, the chest all the way back up. We'll just do one more. Lengthening first, and then wrapping up and around that roller, or ball, or makeshift roller, whatever you're using, and all the way back up, and pause. Now I'm going to bring the hands forwards, draw the hips back ever so slightly, imagining the tail is slightly lifted, bringing it all the way up. Pull those seat bones out from underneath you and take a little stretch forwards, whatever feels good to you. Perhaps you can hold the toes, you can hold the ankles. If you can hold the toes, push the big toes away from you, pull the little toes towards you, and slowly reset low back, middle back, upper back, and eyes. Now I'm going to push that roller out of the way again, just clear the decks a little, and we're going to come now to do a little bit of abdominal work. So this time we're going to draw the hip bones lightly backwards and come all the way down to the floor. Now remember, you can work at any level that works best for you. So I'm going to keep my head down for a moment as I just catch the bony alignment of the sacrum, beautifully melting into the mat. The bottom ribs gently drawn into the mat. And as I exhale, one leg's going to come up to a bent knee position. Keep the collarbones beautifully open, shoulder blades nice, soft feed down your back. And then without the tummy pushing out, we're going to bring the other leg up. So now we start to add a little bit more intensity into the abdominals. Enable yourself to visualize a little hook coming out of your tail. And there is a gold thread, and it almost invisibly lifts your tail up 1 millimeter. We're now going to take one foot down towards the floor, that tail never drops, and bring it back up. Take the other foot down towards the floor. Now if your spine is changing position, then you won't take your foot all the way down to the floor. Please be careful that your shoulders haven't rounded, your back isn't arching, and you haven't lost that beautiful deepened sacrum and bottom ribs, or T12, in light contact to the mat. We'll just do one more each side. I want you to really focus on maintaining that angle behind your knees. And again, taking it down, all the way up, pause, hands come behind your knees, and just give yourself a little hug for a moment. You may even want to loosen off the back by circling the thigh bones a couple of times each way. So on this next one, we're staying with the front. Take the hands behind the knees, a little bit of length at the back of the neck, and pick your head, neck and chest up. Now I'm going to push my thigh bones a little away from me, but keep the tail lifted. So this may be where you stay, and then you might take your head back down. But if you can, you release those hands and you reach them straight up towards the ceiling. Hold for a second, clasp them together, pop them behind the middle skull, and lay the bones all the way back down. And we repeat, a little bit of length at the back of the neck, pick your head, neck and chest up. Taking the hands behind the knees, and still with that slightly lifted tail, don't overly tuck it. Bring yourself into that lovely flexed position. Reach those hands up to the ceiling. Now if it's too much for you to hold it here, then just clasp your hands together a little quicker than my cues, behind the middle skull, and lay those bones all the way back down. We're going to do one more. Be careful that the bottom ribs are still connected into the mat. Lift your head, neck and chest up, and slowly from there, bringing your hands behind your knees, taking the thigh bones a little touch away from you, lift into that lovely flexion. And again, you're going to reach those arms up. You hold for as long as works for you. Make sure the tummy is never pushing out. Clasp together, pull them behind the head, and all the way back down, and pause. Now you might be done there, but if you'd like to add a little bit of the obliques, we're going to lift up, take the hands behind the middles, the sort of center of the back of the knee, and lift, lift, lift. Now from there, I want you to hover your hands. Just sort of make it as though you're holding a large brick. And I want you now to do a little middle back rotation. You could very lightly take your hands to the side of the leg, bring it back, hands come back to hold the imaginary brick, and we rotate towards the other side. Very light little hold, all the way back to center. Clasp the hands behind the middle skull and lay the bones all the way down. Keep that tail lifted. We just have one more of these. A little bit of length at the back of the neck. Pick your head, neck and chest up. And slowly from there, you bring your hands forwards behind that middle section of the back of the knee and hold. Now hold the imaginary brick. We're going to go to the other side this time. So we're going to slowly rotate, not with your pelvis, just with your middle back, a light touch on the outside edge of the thigh. You could lift and intensify that a little bit. Back to holding the imaginary brick. Across to the other side, lightly holding. And then back to center. Reach those arms up, clasp, and lay the bones all the way down. Drop your heels, little hug in. And if everything feels good to you, a little linking move, however many rocks it takes to bring it all the way up. And we're going to come now onto our tummies. So we're going to do a little bit of our dart, really simple extension for the back. So coming all the way down onto your stomach, your hands are down by your sides, your neck is really long. So I want you to allow your pubic bone to press gently into the floor. Feel how your stomach is lightly drawn away from the floor. And I'm going to now allow my head, neck and chest to come up a little. Open the collarbones a little out to the side.
Hover those arms off the floor and spin the upper arm bone around so that we now have our palms facing down. Keep thinking about the form of the whole body. Try not to overly lift your legs. Keep thinking about the pubic bone being weighted, the tummy is drawn in, and then slowly from there we can let everything come back down again. So we can add to this. Inhale to prepare. As you exhale, elevate head, neck and chest. Pubic bone weighted, belly drawn away from the mat, and then bringing more width to the collarbones, opening those collarbones out to the side, palms face down. So we're rather like the original anatomy poster mat, but with a little bit of upper back extension. Now if you can and you feel quite comfortable holding this here, take one arm overhead and bring it all the way back. Keep the weight in the pubic bone. Other arm overhead and all the way back. Could you do both arms overhead and all the way back? Let your head, neck and chest come all the way down again. So either keep it stage 1, simple dart, stage 2, just alternating left and right hands, or we're going to add another little bit to this. This is our last one. So long lengthened legs, lengthened thigh bones, weighted pubic bone, belly slightly lifted away from the mat. Let your head, neck and chest lift up and pause, and open your collarbones and the palms face down. So the upper arm bone has spun around into an external rotation. Now if you can from there, one arm comes forwards and the other arm comes forwards. Pause. If you can from there, lengthen your thigh bones and let them hover and lift. This might be enough for you. But if you can, you're going to elevate your opposite hand and leg, or opposite arm and leg. And then we switch, and we switch. Keep pulling that stomach firmly in. Switch, 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 switch. So we end up with a little swimming action. And pause, and let everything come back down again. Hands to armpits, carefully push yourself all the way up, and take a little stretch back. Take any amount of time that you need just to stretch your back out. So I always like a little to the right, a little to the left, all the way back, and we're coming back to do the front of the body. So coming back to face the front, we're going to think about our series of 5. So draw the hip bones lightly backwards, bring it all the way back down and pause. Now remember, you don't need to do all these levels. You can try the first level, take a little break. I'm just going to keep going for flow. Take a wide full inhale again. Think about the level sacrum, the bottom ribs are in. Collarbones open, shoulder blades flat. Picking one leg up to bent knee, inhale. And as you exhale, picking the other leg up to bent knee. So from here, keep thinking about almost a lengthening sensation through your fingertips as you create a little bit of length at the back of the neck. And slowly pick your head, your neck, your chest up. Now I'm going to reach the left leg away and hold on to the right leg, like so. Make sure there's no tension in your neck, a large piece of fruit between chin and chest. Now we still have that little hook on the tail, lifting the tail 1 millimeter as we pull, pull and switch, pull, pull and switch, pull, pull, switch, pull, pull and switch. Be very mindful of the position of your legs throughout. Keep the ankle, the knee, the hip socket in good alignment. 2 more, pull, pull and switch, pull, pull and switch. Now pause. Bring both in, take a break if you need it. You can clasp the hands behind middle skull for a little modification as you reach both legs out and back in. So this is your modification, keeping that tail gently lifted throughout and back in. If you can, the full exercise, the double leg stretch. Not taking your hands any further back than your ears, circle the arms and back in. Breathing preferably inhale and circle the arms around, exhale, pulling it back in. Inhale, circle and exhale. We'll just do one more. Inhale, circle and exhale. Take a little moment. Head can come down, you can roll a little from left to right with your head, making sure there's no tension in your neck or your collarbones. Slowly from there, you're going to reach both legs up towards the ceiling. Now you can have the option of keeping your head down if you wish, but otherwise you're going to draw one leg in and you're going to just hold here. Push your seat bones away from you. So I'm trying to create a little bit of space under my low back. Now slowly from there you lift your head, neck and chest, but you can keep it down if you wish, and you reach that other leg away. Straighten that top leg if you can. Pull and switch. Pull and switch. Pull and switch. Pull and switch. Keep thinking about that stomach, gently drawn in. Pull and switch. Last one, and pause. Clasp the hands behind your middle skull again. Keep thinking about that tail gently lifted. And you're going to slowly lower those legs just as far as you can manage and bring them back up. Intensify the upper flexion. And again, an inhale, hopefully, and an exhale. Now, if you're finding this is easy, you can take those legs as low as you can maintain the spinal position. If that is going into your low back, please reduce your range massively. And back in. And again, down. And back in and pause. Now we're going to come back into bent knee. We're just mixing it up a little bit. And we rotate and switch. Rotate and switch. So now we have our crisscross. Rotate, switch. Never pulling on your neck. Switch, rotate, switch, rotate. Keep thinking all the time about that subtle lift of your tail. And switch, rotate, switch. Now if you wish, if you wanted to make this harder, you could pause, reach that leg up, and we do a straight leg. Switch and switch. Imagine you were still pull and switch. Pull and switch. Pull and switch. Last two and switch. Last one. Both up, bend, head comes down. Hold your knees. And maybe a little roll of the head to one side again, a little roll to the other side. And circle those thigh bones a couple of times, one way. Breathe, a sort of rejuvenating inhalations and exhalations. And whenever you're ready, you're going to do a little linking move, which this time I'm going to do a little roll up. You may prefer rolling like a ball, but let's just add a little roll up if you can. Inhale to lift your head, neck and chest, and exhale all the way back up. So from there, we bring it around and we're coming back onto our tummy again. This time, we're going to do the swan. So slowly from here, bringing it all the way down and taking your hands either side of your mat. The same setup, legs not too wide. If you get low back discomfort, you can always internally rotate your thigh bones. But if all is well, pushing your pubic bone gently into the mat, the stomach is gently lifted, the shoulder blades are long and lengthened. Inhale to lift your head, neck and chest. As you exhale, allow the eyes to follow a line in front of you, up the skirting board, the breastbone, the ribs follow the eyes, and we come all the way up and open. It should feel nice to open up that abdominal wall. Bend your elbows and bring it all the way back down again. Inhale at the bottom. And as you exhale, lift your head, neck and chest, very weighted through that pubic bone. Let those eyes move all the way up. Feel the bottom ribs drawing in and up and all the way back down again. So slowly from here, we can make this a little more challenging if you wish by bringing your hands onto the mat. And again, let your head, neck and chest lift. Pubic bone is weighted. Tummy is lightly drawn in. Let your eyes begin the movement. Your elbows are drawn back. We slowly bring it all the way up. Inhale at the top and exhale all the way back down again. We're just going to do one more of these. So you should very definitely feel that you're connecting into the back of the body. Pubic bone weighted, thigh bones long and lengthened, belly button gently drawn in. Feel that your elbows are drawn back, your eyes begin to move forwards, the ribs follow suit, following forwards and up. And slowly from there bend the elbows and bring it all the way back down. A little diamond press position now, still working our back, adding a little rotation to the extensions. So I'm going to pull my hands a little apart, make sure my elbows aren't too high. Pubic bone weighted. Whenever you're ready, lift your head, neck and chest up. If you can, elevate one arm, make sure the hips remain stable, elevate the other, and hold. Breathe. Make sure this feels okay to you. You could always do this with your arms down by your side, but back really to the dart would be your modification. And let everything come back down. We can progress this if you wish. Again, a weighted pubic bone. The stomach lightly drawn from the mat. Lift the head, neck and chest. Pause. Lift one arm up. Lift the other arm up. Feel the front is actually working to support the back. So the two are working in harmony. Now take your left arm out to the side, down by your side, and add a little rotation of your middle back to look to that left side. All the way back, and we switch to the other side. Right arm out, right arm by your side. Add a little rotation of the middle upper back. All the way back, take a rest down. We have one more of these. Inhale to prepare, exhale, elevate head, neck and chest. Pubic bone is weighted, stomach is lightly drawn in. Both arms lifted at once if you can. If you can't, make it a single. You can always keep one arm down if it's easier. Out with the left, down by your side to open those collarbones. Try not to get your eyes to do this movement, get your middle upper back to do it. A rotation anti-clockwise. Bringing it back. Your right arm comes out, your left arm down, right arm by your side. And thinking about a clockwise rotation to the side and all the way back and rest it down. Taking your hands again to round about the armpits and once again take a little stretch. Maybe you would prefer to cat stretch, really feeling the entire spine stretching out, pushing perhaps a little the other way. If that doesn't work for you, again, come somewhere that gives you a deeper stretch. Maybe that's the left to rights that we've done so often. And to the side. And then slowly restack low back, middle back, upper back, and eyes. So we're coming to the front of the mat again. And we're going to do a little bit of roll up. So we've got options here. We'll build on these roll ups. Starting with the hands behind the legs, draw length into your low back. Slide the hands a little down towards the hamstring. Inhale at the bottom as you lift your head, neck and chest and gently all the way back up. One more of these, modified roll up. All the way down, really just allow that to happen. Inhale as you lift your head, neck and chest and exhale all the way back up. If you can, stretch the legs out a little, arms are in front. Draw length into that low back, all the way back. Arms come back, arms come up. Inhale as you lift your head, neck and chest. You can bend the knees, lift the tail, draw the hips a little back if that feels good to you. All the way back up and pause. If you can, progressive still, we're going to stretch the legs out. Draw length into that low back, imagining your little seat bone lights move into full beam, all the way back. Arms come up. Inhale as you lift your head, neck and chest. Exhale, squeeze those legs together, all the way back up. And we're going to do one more like this, and then we've got a little addition. So please, if you suffer at all in your low back, I don't want you holding these roll-ups at all, but if you can, we're going to draw it down and pause. Hold it here. Squeeze those legs together. Maybe you need to come a little further down. Maybe you want your full sacrum to be supported. It's up to you. And whenever you're ready, you're going to take one arm out to the side. Bring it back to center. Your other arm out to the side. Back to center. Lay the bones down. Arms come back. They come up and inhale to lift head, neck and chest. And then exhale all the way back up. So we're going to add to this. Coming back, pause. This time I'm demonstrating a little higher up. And again, I'm going to take the other arm out to the side first. Then the other arm. And we're going to hold it here. Hold. Squeeze those legs together. Hold. Bring it together. And all the way back down. And arms come back. So we're going to make it a little more challenging coming up as we lift the head, neck and chest. We slowly come up for 10 and 9 and 8 and 7 and 6 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Going down for 10 and 9 and 8 and 7 and 6 and 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Now if you are able, we're going to try a little roll over. So we bring the feet into that bent knee position, lifting one up first and then lifting your other up. Now remember, if you don't do this in class, please don't try it at home. Open the collarbones, reach both legs up to the ceiling. A wide full inhale to prepare, and as you exhale, draw it all the way up and over. Flex deeply through your ankles, pushing those heels away. Lay the bones down. A little baby circle, reaching away, no momentum. Lift that tail with the gold thread up and over. Flex deeply through those ankles. Lay the bones all the way down. We've pretty much been doing 3s of everything, so let's do 3 of these. Keep those collarbones open, flex your ankles, part the feet slightly, and lay the bones all the way down. Little baby circle to finish, draw the knees in, and again, if it feels good, just circle the thigh bones a couple of times one way. It's like a little massage for your low back. And a couple of times the other way. However works best for you. Maybe you'd like to do a little rocking action. It's entirely up to you to bring it all the way back up. Last little work for the back. That is our leg pull supine. So in other words, a plank, but facing upwards. So from here, position of the hands might be fingers straight forwards, maybe out to the side. This is slightly easier on the wrists. Glue those legs together. Imagine you're being slightly prodded between your shoulder blades, a little forwards. So we're very definitely proud in our head, neck and chest. Glue those legs together and imagine a sling under your hips, lifting you, lifting you, lifting you. Feel the back of the body is working, your hamstrings, your glutes, your back, and let it come all the way back down again. Try not to collapse into your finished position. And again, we'll do one with the hands, not too wide, and fingers pointing forward. So again, feel that little prod in between the shoulder blades and lift it up. Feel how you lift your hips up. The bottom works, you're in full hip extension. Back is working, collarbones are beautifully open, and all the way back down. And we can add a tiny bit of progression to this if you wish. Big inhale, last one, bring it all the way up, 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 and hold. Now lift one leg, and lower, and lift the other leg, and lower. Lift those hips, and lower it back down. Release the seat bone of one, release the seat bone of the other, and then just take a little stretch forwards if it feels good to you. Pushing the big toes away from you, flexing your ankles. Breathe into the back and the base of your lungs. Reset, low back, middle back, upper back, eyes. I'm going to take my roller back again, and we're going to finish with just a little tiny bit of lovely extension, which is a nice release. So again, exactly as we began, we're going to find that lengthened position of the spine, weight through the tail, and wrap up and around. A lovely antidote to all of the flexion. Length at the back of the neck and pick your head, your neck, your chest up. We've been doing 3s, so here we go with number 2. Lengthen first, weight through that tail. Really feel yourself wrap up and around. Length at the back of the neck, pick your head, your neck, your chest, all the way back up. Now I'm going to offer you one last little extra stretch, only if you feel that it is doable. You would release your hands, hold, and then bring them to the base of the neck, lift the head, neck and chest, and bring it all the way back up. You can slowly push that roller out from underneath you, lifting up. Sit for a second on your roller. Just feel for a moment a little rotation to one side, a little rotation to the other. Keep your feet really still and really still. So again, we're using the back, those back muscles into a lovely rotation. Make it your own. One more, rotate and back. And then slowly from there, an upside down V if you can. Stretching out again the back of your legs, pushing the heels down, lifting the toes up. Just hang. If you can, then walk the hands to the feet and the feet to the hands. Really feel the back and the base of the lungs and slowly restack. Low back, middle back, upper back and eyes. Lift. Push those hands away, bring it all the way down, circle and circle.